Thank you so much. I have a question on the role tech platforms are playing right now. The EU has specifically asked Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg to crack down on misleading information related to the attacks on Israel. Has the administration had this kind of engagement? Is it making the same kind of demands?
I'm not aware of any such discussions with tech companies about that.
Thank you so much. The U.S. has been warning since Saturday that hostile parties should not be escalating the conflict at this time. What evidence do you have about whether that message has been heeded?
It's not the kind of thing that they, phone in and say, "Okay, got it." We have not seen to date. We have not seen another actor intentionally try to widen the conflict. All we can go is by what we're seeing and we're not seeing. It's important that we send that signal with the arrival of that carrier strike group and with the rhetoric, of course, coming out from our administration. We'll keep doing that.
And what variables and within what time frame would the U.S. look to consider when making a decision about deploying additional assets to the region?
I think it's going to depend on how things are going in the region. Again, we don't want to see this conflict widen any more than it already has. Israel's focused rightly on Hamas. Opening up additional fronts for them, obviously, would be just a horrible scenario. We don't want to see that happen.
Peter.
Congressman Lawler just said on TV that they're expecting an announcement within 24 hours about an airlift to the U.S. citizens. Can you tell us anything about that?
I don't have any details for you on that. I would just tell you, Peter, that we're in State Department is in active touch with American citizens in Israel. Many of them, as you well know, are dual nationals, to try to make sure that that A, we've got the connection, and B, that we know if they have any concerns, like in the case that they want to leave. So we're in active conversations with Americans on the ground there, and we want to make sure. Right now, there are still commercial carriers, not all, some, flying in and out of Ben Gurion every day. There are still now viable ground routes if you wanted to leave safely out of Israel. That is also an option to you. But neither of those options may necessarily be feasible or affordable to certain Americans. And so we are exploring actively a range of other options to assist if Americans want to leave. I'm just not at liberty now to go into more detail about that.
Dual citizens, can you identify, do you know how many of the 22 Americans who have died and the 17 that are unaccounted for, how many of them are dual citizens versus just pure, only American?
The State Department might be able to give you that. I don't have that data handy. But as you know, so many American citizens in Israel are, in fact, dual passport holders.
Do the Israelis on decisions on what to do about them if they are, in fact, mostly dual citizens?
I'm sorry, say that?
Does that mean that we would defer to the Israelis in terms of deciding what actions to take if they're mostly their citizens?
A dual national with an American passport is an American. And we will take seriously our responsibilities to get any wrongfully detained or hostage, American hostage, home to their families where they belong. They're Americans.